Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar, Stayntouch Product Enhancements, version 5.90, multi-property reservation search, multi-property deposit policies, and more, presented by Stayntouch implementation consultant, Natasha Leck. I'm your host, Erin Fisher, the content writer here at Stayntouch. Today's presentation will cover how you can get the most out of the Stayntouch PMS version 5.90 product release. In this webinar, we will cover the following enhancements: multi-property reservation search, multi-property configuration deposit policies, as well as restrictions, the option to limit based on rates, Pegasus's new sync restrictions, as well as OTA, CRS, and RMS, the option to sync full year. We'll have a short Q&A at the end of the session, at the end of the presentation. Feel free to submit questions throughout the presentation, and we'll answer them in the order they're received at the end. And that's all I have, Natasha. I'm going to pass it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Erin. Perfect. Now, some of the items that we're going to cover today are going to be in regards to multi-property. But before we get started, I do want to mention a feature that'll be coming soon, which is going to be a limit on based on rates. So in the future, if you have a parent rate, there's going to be a limit to how many based on rates you can make on that specific parent rate. That feature is coming soon, not rolled out at the moment. I just wanted to highlight that before we went into the next topic. So for multi-property, users are going to have a new tab, which is going to be called Reservations. And that's going to be right over here. And on that Reservations tab, a user can search for past, present, and future reservations. Now, this will have that same option as Start With and Contains that we see already on the new dashboard. That is going to be either already activated for you or rolled out in the next few months. We can search by reservation status. I can search from today or before today, or select a different date that I'm looking for. And I am able to search in all my properties for reservations, or I can select either certain property groups or certain properties even that I am specifically searching for. If I am searching in all my properties and I'm starting my search with Start With, when I search for a reservation, you will see that it will pull up here, and I can see the guest, the property that this is in, the reservation number, the arrival and departure date, and then reservation information in regards to the room status, and I can see that this is going to be an arrival. When I click on this guest, I will get taken into the property, and I will get taken to that specific reservation. Once that is done, I will be able to see the information on that reservation. And then once we are there we go. Once I've made adjustments, or once I just wanted to view or maybe add a note in there, I'm able to use the back button, and it will take me back to the chain reservations to take me back into the screen that I was searching on, so that I can then continue with whatever I was doing. This tab is new. For the second item that I wanted to discuss in regards to multi-property is going to be under configuration. Most of these items have already been discussed, and the new feature that I want to highlight today is going to be the option to configure templates for deposit policies. So under our rates and then under rules, I can now create templates for deposits. Templates work in the same way as all the other templates work. I'm going to create a template. The information that we see in here is the same as deposit policy information on hotel level. So I have to fill in a name and a description. These are the three same buttons that we already know. And then here I can make the first schedule. All of this is the same as in the PMS, and then create another schedule if needed. What is new is the option to have this be part of the chain templates, so that when a new property is added to the chain, we can have this be part of the new property already. And here at the bottom, I can decide who will be using this specific template. So I can decide whether this is for all properties or I can decide to say, okay, I want to select the properties that this needs to be part of. Now, let me just create a template so that I can show you that it's going to be part of the chain. So chain deposit policy, just so that we have something in there. Or 100%, for example, of the entire stay. I was going to do 1 day before arrival and for all properties. Now, when I've set up this rule, you can see that this is syncing, then it's going to be part of the chain. And then if I want to remove it from the chain, you can see that's it down here. I can click on the tick box in front, and then I would be able to remove it from the chain templates. Now you can see it's not part of the chain. If you do want to make it part of the chain, you would click it and add it to the chain templates. Same way as we know for most of the templates for our configuration for multi-property. Another new part of multi-property is restrictions. These can now be enabled on multi-property level. So if I go into my configuration, I'll start from the beginning. So configuration, rates again, and then restrictions over here. When I click on restrictions, we can see the restrictions that we have for the PMS. Obviously, depending on the CRS that you work with, not all of these might get accepted, so it's always good to check that before activating and using all of them. And I will be able to activate one that I want to have, and the system will tell you what the next steps are going to be. So what we'll do is we'll make sure that we'll activate it for all properties. If the restriction doesn't exist yet, we'll create it as well. We can activate this template, and then we can see that it's syncing, and then it's going to be part of the chain. It will then not be possible to deactivate it on the property level, same as what we're already know for most of the configuration. Anything that is done as a chain template can usually not be adjusted on the property level. New hotels that subscribe to the templates will also receive these restrictions. All right, moving away from multi-property, there are some additional items that I want to show you on property level. So for Pegasus integrations, so when I'm in the settings of the PMS, I go to integrations, central reservation system, and then Pegasus. If this would be enabled for your property, you have the option to not only sync restrictions, but also the option to sync hierarchy restrictions. Keep in mind that not all hierarchy restrictions are supported by Pegasus, and the ones that are supported are house and grade restrictions, hierarchy restrictions, and those have to be activated for your property. So if you want to work with hierarchy restrictions, make sure that you reach out to support to have those enabled. Another great feature, which is for CRS and RMS integration specifically, is that it is now possible to sync 1 year of information instead of having to do this month by month. So as we're already here, I'll use Pegasus as the example. We have the from date. This used to be in specific parts, but now I can say, all right, sync this until February 26, and then I am able to sync this for a whole year. It does stay the same that when you are when you've done the sync, that you do have to wait 180 minutes to do the next sync. Keep that in mind. And historic syncing does stay the same. So historic information at the moment will still have to be done month by month if you want to sync that information. All right, that is all the information that I wanted to cover today.
All right, thank you so much, Natasha. I'd now like to turn over the floor for questions. Remember, you can submit questions through the question box in the middle of the control panel. I don't see any questions yet, but I'll give everyone a few moments to enter those. All right, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'll switch it back to my screen.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you. All right. So just to recap, today we reviewed the following enhancements: multi-property reservation search, multi-property configuration, both deposit policies and restrictions, the upcoming limit to based on rates, new sync restrictions for Pegasus, as well as the option to sync for a full year for OTA, CRS, and RMS. With that, I'd like to conclude our presentation. Thank you all for coming, and if you have any additional questions, feel free to email me at erin.fisher@stayntouch.com. Thanks again.